and welcome to another episode of In Craig's Corner. Today I wanted to kind of discuss the idea of turning the other cheek. Jesus has this way to handle conflict in which he says, if you're insulted by somebody, if somebody harasses you, calls you a name, etc., it's not wise to attack them back. One of the proverbs is kind of where he's drawing it from, is to attack a mocker is to be mocked, to attack a wise man is to be loved. What does that mean for us? What does that mean in our day-to-day lives? Because I know in my own life, it's very easy for me to let somebody walk all over. It's been made very clear by several of my friends that I've become quite the doormat. So my personal mission is to start standing up for myself and saying, you know what, I don't have to put up with this. But I want to stand up for myself in a biblical way, in the way that Jesus would do it. So turning to those scriptures. First, that proverb, what does it really mean? What does it have? How does it hold meaning for us? When you attack a mocker, when you confront somebody and you say, you know what, I've heard you say this about me, I've heard you say that about me, that's not the way that I want to be treated, and you need to treat me otherwise. What will that do? That will only cause further mockery from that person. They'll play nice to your face, but as soon as you walk away, it will begin again, and probably much more intensely, because now you've confronted them. They have some ammunition to use against you. The more appropriate approach to discuss an issue like this with somebody is say, I've heard that you're saying these things about me. I really don't know what to say. It hurts me, makes me feel bad, and I would much rather you not talk about me in that manner. But more specifically, you have to have reasons as to why it matters. I mean, why shouldn't they talk about you? What harm is it causing? For myself, I'm a manager at a Dairy Queen, so when other people are talking about me, it hurts my management, it hurts my ability to control my shift, it hurts me professionally, not to mention the personal side of it all. So coming to somebody with concerns is quite okay, but you have to do it in a tactful manner. You can't just start being accusative, because that will only cause defensive walls to go up. But the second half of that proverb, but to attack a wise man is to love, that sounds a little bit odd. Let us say, for instance, that your parents or a loved one sets a boundary for you and says you can't go beyond this, the line, you can't go out of this circle. The immediate reaction for a lot of people is, why can't I? Why shouldn't I? Etc. And the answer to that is, this is where you can kind of attack with love. A person is setting down a boundary for you because they care about you. But you can respond appropriately with anger. Well, I wouldn't say appropriately, but sometimes anger is the natural reaction to somebody that you care about. If you see somebody who's struggling personally with something, it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset, because that means you care on a much deeper level. But you have to use that emotion in a positive manner. You have to use it in such a way that it's not going to hurt the other person that you're trying to approach. And so I think the best way that we can go about is to say, look, I know that we have our differences, and I know that you have your opinion on the matter, but I want you to hear my side too. You know, and it's okay to be upset when you're explaining this thing because it's a natural reaction, a natural emotion to have, to feel, to uh, etc. Uh, but beyond that, Jesus takes this to another level. He says, not only is it okay to respond, but it's okay to respond to the response. Uh, Jesus does not say turn the other cheek so that way you will just ignore a problem and hope it goes away. That's oftentimes what we tell our kids. Say, well, if you just ignore the bully, he'll go away. That's not exactly how it's going to work. And it doesn't work for adults as well as kids. It doesn't work for anybody. What Jesus is saying is you shouldn't dignify a mockery with another mockery. Or you shouldn't, I guess another way is, two wrongs don't make a right, is what he's trying to say. You should turn the other cheek by saying, I'm better than this. I'm going to choose the high road. And when you choose the high road, that means that you have something to teach to the person. So, let's say, for instance, that somebody calls you a name. Calling them a name right back is just going to start that cycle of violence you don't need to get into. So instead, you say, thank you. I never noticed that part of myself before. Or, it's wonderful that you can speak your opinion, but I would rather that you, kind of conserve that for yourself, because it's not a very nice thing to say. Um, it's always better to respond to somebody in a positive manner, letting them know that it doesn't offend you. Well, not that it doesn't offend, but that you don't, that it doesn't cut to your core, that it can bounce off of you because you know it's not true, or you know that that really there are a lot of things that are worse out there than what he or she just said. So quite quite obviously, it's the bottom of our concern list. So turning the other cheek is not just ignoring a problem and hoping it goes away. It's taking positive action to fix a problem that seems to be continuous. And I'm not saying that every time that there is an argument, every time that there is a little quip at you, that you should automatically respond with something, because that's not necessarily true. Sometimes ignoring things will let it go away. But there's a point in time when we realize that maybe it's not going away, and we need to take some positive action about it. So turning the other cheek does not include yelling. It does not include name-calling. It does not include sinking to the level of the mocker. But rather, turning the other cheek says, let's make a positive situation out of a negative. And let's try to work through this the best that we can. Sometimes you're just going to have to agree to disagree. But each time we want to make an attempt to show our Christian side by showing a person that, we appreciate the fact that they have an opinion, but we don't have to appreciate their opinion. Other than that, another piece of advice I would have to give is kill somebody with kindness. Sometimes somebody is acting in that manner because they're reaching out. They need somebody. They need human contact and human feeling. So kill them with kindness and turn the other cheek. And with that, I thank you for watching another episode of In Craig's Corner, and I hope you have a great week.